Homebound Arc. Her lips pressed against mine and my eyes widened, hands splaying out. I could feel her wicked smile spreading through her lips, body pressing against me as her gun clattered to the ground. I'm not so sure calling us a filthy disease was exactly romantic. I rubbed the back of my neck, laughing nervously as my heart thudded against my ribs. But, I'm not sure what else would be. She averted her eyes softly, almost appearing flushed? Okay, I shook my head, eyes narrowing. Now you're just trying too hard. When you asked me before if I thought you were manipulating me or if it was more than that, I'm positive you were just manipulating me. You don't really play the shy girl part very well. She frowned, redness fading as her hands rested on her hips. What a load of fun you are, she rolled her eyes. So what if I'm not a good actor? Are you or are you not with me on this? I'm with you, I sighed. Manipulation successful. I would just appreciate if you didn't pretend it was something more. She smirked, fishing around the gory chunks on the ground before coming up with Smith's keys, red eyes again lighting up as a helicopter reflected in her peripherals. All human interaction is manipulation, she smiled, again stepping towards me. What is it you mean by something more? I could be manipulating you through fear or force as well. Because I'm doing it this way means I'm basically, Yeah, I rolled my eyes in sarcasm. That's not a cynical outlook on relationships at all. You're just too cute, just so vulnerable and trusting right now, aren't you? Heaven forbid you consider the fact that some people do things for others unconditionally. Well, she sighed, smirking. I suppose it's okay if our views on human nature differ, but only one of us will be sad to be proven wrong. I blinked before shaking my head and smiling, beginning to walk with her as we made our way to the metal behemoth lying with dead rotors. Well, it's a deal then, I grinned. But don't pretend you'd like to be proven wrong under any circumstances. I'd imagine I wouldn't like that. She wiped blood from her forehead and grabbed my hand. Wouldn't know. Never happened before. The helicopter lay dead ahead as Circe hopped inside, eyes narrowing in amusement at my visible nervousness. Oh, they're built to be as easy to fly as possible, she waved her hand, rolling her eyes and tossing me a headset. Safer than a car, anyway, statistically speaking. We've just got to make a few stops. If you keep acting all scared like that, I'm gonna make you pilot. I swallowed hard and laughed nervously. As I climbed inside, however, I had to pause for a minute as I rubbed my eyes. I blinked heavily several times. Everything appeared to be tinted slightly red. Penny's irises flicked around the room in utter horror, tired, sickly skin ghostly white. Two creatures shambled about in the peripheries of the room, horrible, skinny bodies creaking like skeletons as they scampered like shadows. Penny's eyes stung with tears, her hands clasped in front of her, shaking feverishly. The cold, grimy concrete floor stretched out before her, several more huddled shapes visible in the further reaches of the warehouse. The harsh sound of dragging chains reached her ears, and she flinched away from the creature approaching her, dark green eyes cold and lifeless. Penny McClure, the creature spoke softly and monotone, gruesome chains working across the floor like serpents to hold her balance. I will need to assess your mental state. Please offer your full cooperation. Penny flinched, shivering and averting her eyes. Insane, she whispered, knees curled into her chest. Stay away. The green-eyed creature just gazed through hollow sockets, unemotional and uncaring. Dismal, it murmured. A chain slithered into the air, vibrating with the shrieking scream of the red-hot speared tip. Penny's horrified pinprick eyes widened in fear before she flinched away and squeezed them shut. Penny McClure, the creature continued at the same volume. It would seem there is a reason to obtain a fellow student of yours, John Matthews. The creature held up Penny's phone with its ghastly hands, finger tapping ever so slowly at her contact picture of John, stringy black hair covering her horrific retinas. Penny just whimpered in horrified silence as the blade of the spear began to sizzle against her hair. Your relationship to John Matthews, the creature reiterated, finger continuing to tap ever so slowly to match the beat of its monotone speaking. Friend. Penny strangled out into her knees as she kept her head buried. John is my friend. The creature was silent for several seconds, hair parting as a single blindingly green eye sparked into view. How much does John Matthews care for you? She whispered through needle teeth, fingers scratching at his picture, spear beginning to bore into Penny's skin. Would he trade his life for yours? Penny whimpered in agony. Yes, she bawled, smoke rising from her flesh. But he doesn't care about me. He would throw his life away for anyone. Why are you doing this? The spear stopped. John is supposedly selfless. The creature clicked the phone closed, again plunging the space into darkness. But a glitch named Circe Parsons is already poisoning him. He will not do the exchange cleanly and will attempt to kill us with her help. John may be coming for you, but the glitch would just as soon kill the hostages if it means landing a scratch on Mari and I. If we cannot separate John from her, you will be killed along with everyone in this building. Penny closed her eyes, shaking her head and breathing raggedly. Our only chance, then, the creature continued, to save both you and John is to counteract their plan. For that, we need you, Penny. We need a human. How much do you care about John? What will you do for him? How far will you go for him? Facility Arc. The sound of mouse clicks filled the room. John stared calmly at the screen in front of him as 52 sweated bullets. Her teeth gritted together as her yellow iris scuttled around the screen. What is he doing? 52 gnashed to herself, meeting his gaze. His expression revealed nothing. She looked back to the screen, fingers shaking on the mouse as the timer read less than 2 minutes left. She hastily made a move, clicking her queen to take his final rook. What the hell is this all of a sudden? She hissed in her head, eyes narrowing in rage. The entire time he had been clearly taking the subjective route, letting all of his pieces be taken without a fight, but suddenly, as he was down to just his king, 2 knights, and a bishop, it was as if someone else had stepped in to play for him, beginning to fight back out of nowhere. 52 was now scrambling just to keep her forces intact. Does he not trust me? She seethed to herself in disbelief. Having second thoughts this late in the game? Does he think I'm going to chicken out and try to put him in checkmate to save myself? Across the table, John's emotionless face twitched into a slight smirk, his hand calmly clicking the mouse. 52's queen shattered, taken by his bishop from across the board, the piece now directly in line with her king. Check. The screen flashed dark red in front of 52, warning bars splintering across the grid with glitching static. The computer let out a drawn-out warning beep, the ear-piercing tone complemented by the now flashing screen. What? 52's eyes went wide before instantly narrowing in betrayal, rage burning across her face. Her hand gripped hard on the mouse, eyes scanning the board. She skirted her king out of check, only to watch as John hacked down her rook and again pinned her king into check. Her skin flashed deadly pale as John again met her gaze with a grinning smirk. Is he really? 52 gnashed in panic. That fucker! He's so scared I'll betray him that he's trying to take me down with him? She shook her head, clicking her last rook to block the path of the bishop, taking her king out of check but putting her rook in clear danger, an obviously suicidal act simply calling for a truce to get him to stop. Don't. 52 pleaded to herself. I'm trying to help you, 76. You can't do that. Her rook shattered, the bishop taking it and instantly putting her king into check again. 52 flinched, eyes going wide. Check. The screen flashed over and over. There was less than a minute on the timer. Fuck! 52 screamed to herself. Is that how you want to play it, you coward? John's grin just grew even wider with each passing turn as he used his tiny, dilapidated team to his advantage, forcing 52 to make choices between her own pieces again and again. 52's frantic eyes crawled with the reflection of the screen as she tensed up in horror. Before she knew it, she was no longer fighting for a stalemate, but instead desperately attempting to trap his elusive king into checkmate before he did the same to her. He was winning out without question, her pieces falling before she could keep track of them. 30 seconds left on the timer. 52 took a breath, refusing to even look at John now as she narrowed her eyes and took several of the remaining precious seconds to survey the board closely. 52 had been reduced to just her own king, 2 bishops, and a useless pawn, but John was down to just his king and a knight. A checkmate by him was now impossible. In a similar manner, with her current pieces and time restraint, 52 could no longer put him in stalemate even if she wanted to. John had doomed himself. 10 seconds left. 52's lips curled into a wicked smile, fingers clenching against her mouse. Her first bishop slid diagonally beside his king, the warning beep of check now emanating from his screen. 52's teeth sharpened in a toothy grin. This was his own damn fault. John scuttled out of check, and as 52 set up checkmate with her other bishop, he wasted his last move, uselessly moving his knight directly in front of her last pawn, trapping it in place. 52 cackled. What the hell was that? Did he really have such a pitiful strategy? 5 seconds. Sorry, John. 52's eyes lit up, her bishop trapping his king. That's checkmate. Her eyes widened. 4 seconds left. The drawn-out warning beep of check emanated from John's computer, but as she looked up at him, he just grinned. Player A, check. 52's screen read, disappearing as John's king simply jumped aside. 3 seconds. Fuck! 52 panicked, failing to have trapped him into checkmate completely. She desperately hacked at her mouse to intercept his king, only to have him jump back to his original location. 2 seconds. Her hand clenched so tight distortion splintered the plastic coating of her mouse. She moved her bishop back, only to have his king again jump back to its previous space. Stalling for time? 52's enraged distortion splintered her screen with a horrific crack. He was going to kill them both! 52 jumped to her feet, her computer monitor falling to pieces as a blast of toxic air slashed it in half. 1 second. The fluorescent lights of the room hummed softly, the only other sound the soft beeping from John's computer, before it suddenly cut to nothing. 52 breathed heavy, fists clenched as they boiled with distortions. But her rage slowly ebbed away to confusion, as John put his feet up on the table and winked. A low hum emanated from his computer as text splayed across it. Player A. Draw by threefold repetition. The clock was frozen at 0.5 seconds. Play again, the screen prompted. 52's unblinking eyes stared at John, glistening with disbelief as he flipped the screen towards her, before ceremoniously following her lead and casually cleaving the monitor in two with distortions before giving a middle finger to the camera monitoring the room. 52's mouth stammered, no words coming out. The room was dead silent. Blood suddenly splattered in a gory mess beside him, red eyes fixating on the ground as 105 teleported into view. The little girl staggered to a stop as her flesh wound together, red skirt fluttering silently. Her purple backpack slithered into view from pigmented vapor, settling on her back with the soft clinking of metal.
"This will not continue."
Dahmer's voice softly spoke through the speaker, playfulness all but gone.
"I will not stand for such cheating in a game of my design."
6 ways to draw a chess game. Just because you didn't disable all of them doesn't mean I cheated. You know as well as I do that 52 and I easily drew from repetition once I lowered our piece count. Stalemate is not the only way to end a game with no winner.
"This will not continue."
Dahmer just hissed again.
"I do not know where you are getting these lucky breaks, John, but they will not hold you forever. Your next chance will be far more interesting."
Looking forward to it. John spoke back emotionlessly, tone suddenly shifting much darker as he spoke out. Don't think I'm not taking this seriously either, Dahmer. If you think my victories are the product of cheating but can't prove it, I will be the one to kill you by the end of this. You'll have to come to terms with that eventually. The speaker crackled faintly as Dahmer remained silent. 105 began walking towards John and 52.
"Alright, 76.
Dahmer finally giggled after some time.
Or I suppose I should say, John. We'll just see how long that resolve lasts. Punishment tests complete. Results nulled."
105's hand gripped around John's before her other hand thrashed out to grab 52 as well. John cringed, closing his eyes tight.
"By the way, John,"
Dahmer mused,
"no more special treatment for you? Another one of your silly distortion stunts breaking my cameras or careless wandering, and you'll be tagged just like every other toy in here. I hope you know what you signed up for, John. This game is about to get a lot less fun."
The trio erupted into showers of gore.